has postponed its hearing with Cedric Nkabinde due to inaccuracies in his sworn statement. MPs now want Minister Sinzo Mkhunu's chief of staff to go back and fix the discrepancies in his submission around the dates and meetings with implicated individuals like Brown Mokhotsi. Today marked day one of his testimony before Parliament's ad hoc committee looking into allegations of police corruption, but proceedings were cut short just before the lunch break. His evidence had focused on his relationships with Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and how he got to know corruption-accused businessman Brown Mokhotsi. Nkabinde told MPs that his devices were seized over a month ago during a raid at his house and he had no way of verifying certain dates. The Polokwane Magistrates Court has heard that Lukompo musician Lihlohonolo Chauke is linked to several other violent cases in Limpopo. The Chauke appeared in court today facing charges of attempted murder, possession of an unlicensed firearm and malicious damage to property, all stemming from an alleged road rage incident last month. During his appearance, prosecutors revealed he's under investigation for other incidents including assaults and firearm-related matters. The court heard that consolidation of the additional charges could elevate his case to a Schedule 6 offence. And FlySafe says its employer-initiated work stoppage, which has locked out employees engaging in industrial action, is due to continue for at least another week. Last week, the South African Cabin Crew Association, which represents the pilots, had reached a salary agreement with the airline of a 5.7% salary increase and a 7.5% annual bonus. However, wage talks reached a deadlock again over clauses that the union said were not negotiated. As negotiations continue, the airline's Kirby Gordon says non-unionized employees have kept operations going.
On an individual basis, people can accept the company's offer and they sign a contract to that effect, and that basically withdraws their participation from the industrial action and they come back to work.
A look at your weather. Cloudy skies in store for Gauteng tomorrow with isolated afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Joburg will drop to overnight lows of 14 degrees and peak at highs of 25. Pretoria is at 17 and 27 and Vereeniging's at 14 and 26 degrees. Mikey Malapo, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High-dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Hey, why the show Marawa?
I don't know, maybe you are still calling Mr. Maduputu, or maybe that does not exist.
Sure, Robbie. World Cup, here we come.
Mustn't be MP.
I'm not a new. Why do I say I'm new?
Omar Akatugba, UEFA accredited sports journalist, coming through live as we go worldwide.
Allegations of corruption, which you can see clearly, very, very much written on the wall. And that is exactly playing out, where coaches come out to say they're not being paid, national team players, from the Super Eagles to the under-20s to the under-17, even to the girls. We saw when Nigeria won the AFCON in South Africa and the girls were ferried with a vehicle that is meant for ferrying farm produce.
Rob, it's very shameful to hear that what those players from Nigeria are saying, that they haven't get paid. Why, Rob, why this is happening only in Africa? We have never had the Brazilian or the Americans or the Chileans say they've not been paid. Why our leaders, they are hating us so much?
Look at the last NFL president. His biggest achievement is that he's now a member of the FIFA Executive Committee. That is what he goes about boasting about.
Moses Sichone, the newly appointed head coach of the Zambian national team.
Because I tell you, I'm a Zambian based in Africa. I'll be watching that game, but I'm not excited about it. Zambia having a result there with the way Bafana is playing.
So you cannot change things in 24 hours. In football, you need to have a bit time. But I've been with the team. I know all the guys, and there are some young players that also want to give a chance, and then to see how far they have reached.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, at times they call it a twist and a turn type of a Thursday. That's exactly how our day has turned out today. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
All right, so just up front, I know that some of our social media platforms had already hinted towards the interview tonight with the newly appointed Netball South Africa president, Mami Diale, but that is not going to happen because around about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I did get a message from Mami saying that she would like to express her sincere apologies because she's had to cancel the scheduled interview today. She has a work commitment that was brought to her attention only today and unfortunately cannot get out of it. So that's where we stand right now. That interview is not going to be happening, but one thing that's going to happen is the show. #MSW will continue interactive as always, so anything that's crossed your mind, any observations later on, will touch down with Mike Greenaway, because guess what? Rassie Rasmus has made that announcement that we're all waiting for, the changes to the squad that's going to be playing against the Italians over the weekend. So we'll break that down. Maybe your thoughts as well. Please summarize them and send us those voice notes. We'll also go to Oman. Roger de Sa. Hey, when last did you hear Roger de Sa? So we're going to touch base with him as well. So exciting from beginning to end. Do send us any comments, any questions that you would love to throw forward. Also keeping an eye on South Africa, the Proteas. It's a historic one, guys. I mean, Shubman Gill has also called it a very, very big honor to captain India in his first test at Eden Gardens, a venue deeply tied to his cricketing journey. Gill, who made his test debut in 2020, will lead India against South Africa in the first test of the two-match series that's starting tomorrow at the iconic Kolkata ground.
We are playing a match here after 6 years. I think the last test match that we played was the ping ball test match. And I wasn't part of the test match, but I was watching it from outside. I was part of the squad. So my first test match here in Eden Gardens, and a very big honor for me to be able to lead my country here. Yeah, I mean, it's always this time of the year. There's always a conflict whether you would want to go for that extra all rounder or you want to go for an extra spinner. But that's why I said I think once we come tomorrow, see how the wicket looks in the morning, we're going to take a decision. You know what kind of combination would give us the best chance to be able to win this test match.
Well, it looks like the big T is back. South African captain Themba Bavuma says that the reality of being World Test champions has sunk in, and with that, a greater sense of expectation. Speaking ahead of their Test series against India, Bavuma said that the title hasn't changed their approach, but it has boosted their confidence.
Yeah, I think it has sunk in. I think whenever we go into series, there's a lot more of an expectation, you know, for us as a team to, I guess, uphold the whole champion status. Doesn't really change anything from our point of view, but I think from a confidence point of view, it's just a case of us kind of walking proudly with that badge. We're known as the champions, the current champions at this point. We have a lovely opportunity now coming up against India in their own conditions. There's not many bigger challenges than that, so another opportunity for us to kind of stamp ourselves with that label.
Well, the captain says that team selection, though, for the first test in Kolkata is under consideration, with conditions playing a key role. He also noted that the ball tends to swing more at Eden Gardens than elsewhere in India, prompting debate over whether to include an extra spinner or lean on seam options.
Yeah, look, I mean, we haven't finalized the team. Ordinarily we would have, but it's all those different I guess consideration. The ball does seem to swing here in Kolkata, probably a little bit more than what we are accustomed to play against to playing in India. So, you know, there's obviously the consideration of the extra spinner, but obviously it being subcontinent as well, you want to make sure that you have the resources from a spin point of view. I don't think too much changes from a batting point of view. We'll always select your best 6 batters, however way we go, but yeah, it's probably more from a bowling point of view. And look, we'll take the luxury of giving ourselves the extra day. And today, have a look at the wicket to to make sure that we are clear on whatever starting level we put out for the game.
Well, Bavuma says that his team is ready, though, for the challenge of facing India in their own conditions, acknowledging past disappointments on Indian soil. Bavuma emphasized, though, that the team's hunger to compete against the best.
Coming to India, it's never easy. We understand the magnitude of the challenge. Some of us in the group, there've been moments of hurt having come from India, so we know what it's about. So yeah, we look forward to the challenge. Should be exciting looking at the makeup of both teams. Fantastic players within the Indian team, but a little bit of inexperience. Similarly with our side, but guys who wanna match up to the best in the world. So I think it should be exciting series.
Yeah, looking forward to that, man. Should be great. Hey, good luck to the Proteas. In the meantime, though, Springbok head coach Rassie Erasmus has named a new-look starting team, though, for the outgoing tour. That's the test against Italy at the Allianz Stadium in Turin on Saturday afternoon. Now, the team will again be led by inspirational captain Siya Kolisi, with the Bok coach making 11 changes to his run-on side and also one on the replacements bench from last week's 32-17 victory against France. Now, Erasmus has acknowledged the challenge of rebuilding South Africa's front row following injuries, retirements, and highlighted emerging talent stepping into key roles.
Yeah, look, sometimes when you lose Ox and Mtunu Tux hasn't played rugby, and now you've lost Loot, definitely we are saving what's his name, Thomas a little bit for the Irish Test match, because we won't have him after that match when we play Wales, because that's outside the window. We felt Buan is now on cap 7 and he's doing pretty well. Grobbies is on cap 5 or 6. He did really well when he came on, even only for 5-6 minutes. And then again, Zach has played one match for us. But on the bench, there's nice security in the two props that's always played together, Gerard and Wilco. And then obviously Marco is our cover at hooker. Obviously starting in another position, but he will be our hooker cover. We've been doing that with Marco for the last 5 years. He was at the previous World Cup. He played against Tonga in the front row. So we are trying to, just like we did with Andre, make him a player that can play forwards and back line, but you slowly build it up, first against Barbarians, then a tier 2 nation, and then eventually a big match like France. So I think Marco is probably in the position where we think, if he gets well through this Italy test match at hooker for a couple of minutes, there's another box tick, but it also might backfire totally on us, and then we know it doesn't work, we'll have to make another plan. So that's the thinking about the front rows.
Well, Erasmus has emphasized the tactical flexibility and also player rotation in his midfield selections, and with a greater focus on balancing experience and emerging talent.
The big thing is, I know if you ask Ethan, what's your favorite position, he says 12. If we ask Kanan, what's your favorite position? No, Danny Gerber was my 13. And we've always used Kanan has done great things at 13, and we think he deserves a chance, also giving Chessie a bit of a rest there. And I think Kanan, out of 20 matches, he's lost once in the Springbok jersey, but he's just as comfortable on the wing. And then Ethan, we played 13 and wing all the time, while his preferred position is 12. So again, with the two boys, Damien and Chessie coming off that physical battle against France, although we won and we were down to 14 men, it really took a lot out of the guys, and the travel schedule from there was really pretty tough. It was late nights to get here, early morning flights and bus trips, and so the training on Monday was tough for the guys. They were really stiff, but the guys who's playing, is pretty young. I mean, between Krappies, Mornay en Andre is maar 31, maar die twee centers is 22, Piet Kirtley is 28, wie is ons ander wing, Edwell is 27, 28, Gaza is 27, Grant is 29 op die bank, Mani is 28 op die bank. So ons het gevoel is meer 'n respek ding.
All right, more coming up on the box selection and also some of your reaction and comments a little bit later on in the show with Mike Greenaway. MC Alger head coach Rulani Mokoena currently enjoying an unbeaten run in Algeria's League One. Well, he's spoken out about the importance of grassroots and also youth development in South African football. His comments reflect both pride in the progress that's been made and also call for a further innovation. Mokoena credited the PSL's DSTV Diski Challenge, otherwise known as the DDC, for its success in promoting young talent to senior squads in the Bedway Premiership.
I think there's been a lot of very good work being done, and you look for an example, it might be really small things, but there's more trust in the youth. I think a lot of work in the South African fraternity needs to be recognized by the PSL that has done incredible work with the DDC, because if you look at a lot of the players that have come through, who we really try to put into a very, very good space, have been produced from smaller clubs. Even to tell you the truth, when people used to laugh at me for coaching Black Poison in my off days, because I said this a lot of times, that I get an opportunity to know when there's a Zakele Lipasa in the amateur ranks that I see it, and I say to myself, this player has something, maybe even to play for Black Poison and probably even better leagues. And some of the players that we've had at Black Poison have even gone into professional football. You see a lot of players, like for an example, Tito Maswangai was a player that was playing in I remember watching him in a tournament in Tembisa. There's many players also now who you see at Pirates who come straight from amateur football and directly into, and this was not happening 10 years ago, but this was happening many years ago.
Oh, you're gonna love the Black Poison part, eh? Loves that project. He also expressed a desire to see street football. I think a lot of people love street football, the different football formats like futsal gaining professional recognition. He also believes that futsal's technical demands and fast-paced nature can sharpen players' skills, especially in tight spaces and when they're under pressure.
Maybe what I would like to see more is a bit more of street football returning, and a little bit more of professionalizing futsal and this type of game forms, because if you see some of the best countries in Africa in this moment, the nations who produce very, very good players, it's not just from and having very strong academies, but also the players play street football. The kids are still on the street, and they are playing and exploring and problem solving, and from a very, very young age, and they learn ball manipulation in tight areas, with a car coming, with an old lady crossing the street, and their sense of peripheral awareness is heightened, and it's also still very, very competitive, because there's a lot of people and there's crowd pressure, and this for me is something that I know as a young boy growing up in Soweto. This was fundamentally something that I experienced myself, and I knew that every single day, particularly on school holidays, we would just play, And I don't think we have this culture, and I think what maybe we can try to return to is try to get. Other than that, there's a lot of very good work. The youth teams are doing extremely well. There's a very good appreciation for the work that's being done in the DDC.
All right, later on I'll play his comments regarding Timmy Ngosi Lodge. Should be interesting to hear. All right, let's check out what's happening on the social media platform. The Gift says that it's really sad to hear that we can't hear from the new Netball SA president, but what's even more disappointing is that Netball SA might just charge her for this work trip. Futingala says, there's a cause for concern with David Thidiela's utterances. He says they are wild and they are dangerous, to say the least. Yeah, I picked up here and there a couple of social media comments about what the man has said. I don't think it's anything new that he has said. I think it's been very consistent, David Thidiela, in his utterances. He's made it very clear the people that he does not get along with. He's made it very, very clear the people that he thinks don't like him and his team. And the reason why his team is where it is because of that. The big question is, should we bring him on MSW? Is that somebody you want to hear from? And if there was a question you would want to throw at David Thidiela, what would that question be?
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW. Hear that? That's the sound of the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco 2025, and you could win double tickets to the opening match. Simply visit Total Energies, fill up with 750 Rand or more of Excellium fuel, or top up with Quartz engine oil, and you're in the game. So join us as we celebrate the spirit of football together, and let's make Africa the home of the beautiful game. Exclusive to club members, valid 30 September to 17 November. T's and C's apply.
At Investec, we not only bank you, we bank your whole family. So wherever you are, they have full access to our services and financial support, because their peace of mind is our priority. If you earn 800,000 Rand per annum or more, you may qualify for Investec Private Banking, where you'll enjoy effortless digital capabilities, backed by real people who understand you. We'll even switch your account for you. Now that's private banking.
Investec is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. Investec, out of the ordinary.
You want a new car, but prices keep climbing, the timing doesn't feel right, the deals are never good enough. Until now. The Motor Select Demo Deal Dash is back this Friday and Saturday only. Get up to 100,000 Rand trade-in assist on over 1,800 demo models across 26 leading brands, all backed by SA's largest and leading dealer network. It's just 2 days. Visit motorselect.co.za to shop our demo range now.
Hello, Mzansi. I want to speak about something dear to my heart. The levels of soullessness in the world. Hey, go ahead. There are 8.2 billion people in the world, and only 63 million of these people are South African, meaning 81,900,000,000, listen carefully, 37 million of these people are deprived of basic access to soul food because we have all the chicken lickens. Mzansi, this is truly a travesty. It's giving maths lit, but count yourself lucky because you can help the rest of the world. How? By becoming a Soulfluencer, and you'll stand a chance to win a trip to anywhere in the world. You can also win your share of up to 20 million Rand in instant prizes along the way. Visit soulfoodtotheworld.com or Chicken Licken's socials to find out how you can show your support and win. T's and C's apply. Chicken Licken. Soul food.
Pep Summer Hotline, how can I help you?
Hi, my very amazing child told me last night at 9 p.m. they must come to school as superheroes for Civis Day. 9 p.m. At this point, I'm going to put this Batman duvet cover on him as a cape.
Don't let this make you act out of character. Save the day with all kinds of kids' character wear from as little as $39.99. Add character sandals to match and summarize the world. There's a Beb for that, and that, and that.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Omar Akatugba, UEFA-accredited sports journalist, coming through live as we go worldwide. William Trustekong, who obviously posted on social media, once the resolution is found, we will be the first to confirm. Meaning who? The players or the federation?
The players, obviously, because the federation, as usual, can't be trusted. One person says this, another person says something else. Don't listen to the media. That is certain section of the Nigerian media working overtime for the Nigerian Football Federation. I'm sad to say.
Omar, you're saying that some of the media is bought and is working for the federation?
You can see that clearly in the way there is even no unism. Players aren't demanding for special bonus. They are asking for the payment of backlog of bonuses, which is now being made clear.
What they do, they smile in your face. #MSW.
MSW.
All right, from backstabbers to somebody who'll stab absolutely nobody's back. We catch up with South Africa's most seasoned football globetrotters. I mean, a man whose passport kind of tells the story of a life lived through the beautiful game. His name is Roger de Sá. He's back in the headlines. Why? I think just days after being unveiled as the head coach of Cape Town Spurs. So you go back to that announcement. I mean, he stunned the local football scene, stepping down almost immediately to reunite with his longtime ally, Carlos Queiroz, as the assistant coach of the Oman national team. Now, together, they've actually embarked on their 6th international campaign. And there's no time to waste. I mean, fresh off the appearances at the CAF Nations Cup as well as the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, Oman now gearing itself up for a friendly against Sudan. That's going to be happening tomorrow and before locking horns with the Ivory Coast next Tuesday. So, again, let's head off to Oman and chat to Roger de Sá as we go worldwide. Roger, thank you so much for your time. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Hi, Rob. It's fantastic to be there once again. I mean, I keep catching up every now and then, but yeah, fantastic to hear from you. And back in the
trenches.
In the hot pot. Yeah, absolutely. Back in the trenches. And I keep telling myself, no, this is it. I've had enough. And it just keeps rolling, eh?
I was going to say, that was part of the last conversation that we had. And always, again, Roger, thank you so much for the time. I know how under pressure you are preparing for a game and camp, etc., etc. But I always believe that some of the bright names, I mean, I had a private chat with Bradley Cornell just the other day and winning such an important award in MLS says a lot about what we have as far as our coaches in South Africa is concerned. So the Roger de Sá name cannot ever be shut down. So be mindful that as long as you have a phone, we're going to be calling you.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Yeah, fantastic on Bradley's side. I mean, I had a chat with him probably about 2 years ago. I was in Dallas with Qatar. We were playing in the Gold Cup in the American Cup. And I managed to get hold of him and Gary Bailey, funny enough. I made a call and had a good chat with them. But Bradley and I, we go back a long time at Wits and even in the southern suburbs of Johannesburg. And fantastic to see how well he's doing. It's really, really great. He's a hardworking guy and he deserves everything. And we chatted at the time because there was an Egyptian player that we were thinking about calling him up to the national team of Egypt that was playing for him in the US. So, you know, it's a small world nowadays, as you said, and it's nice to have good contacts all over the world.
I mean, going back and joining your old soldier in Carlos Queiroz, no stranger to South Africa because of the great work he did when he was here. Oman coming up. I mean, how did that come about? I mean, especially so soon after that whole Cape Town Spurs appointment.
Yeah, look, I think there was always something that was going to be on the cards. We had a couple of contacts from different countries and different clubs, but there was nothing really that excited us. And Carlos was actually in Brazil at the time, you know, on holiday, and he was in Rio when they called him up, and he had to fly pretty urgently. He had like 48 hours to get back to Lisbon and having a meeting with the president of the Oman Federation. And I think 24 hours after that, I had to fly up here. So it was very, very quick. It was a quick decision, and you know, it's always, you know, when you represent a national team and you got a chance to make the World Cup and you play against the best and so on, it's a great opportunity once again.
I mean, some people always talk about an offer. Is it possible, impossible to turn down? But I think international football is something that you've really veered towards with so much, I won't say luck, but you've put in so much. I mean, we've seen you and you guys know each other's work ethics. He knows how to trust you. You know how to trust him. At the end of the day, it's the players then who trust both of you in terms of any tournament that you end up playing in.
Yeah, I think when you get to the national scene, it's you know, you deal with top players. I think, you know, it's I think at club level you do have you'll always have your reserve side and so on, and players that are coming through. And at national level, you know, you're always dealing with the best, you know, and you play against the best, you know, and once you've tasted the World Cup, I must tell you, it's something that it's very difficult to get rid of. You know, when you go to the World Cup and you compete there, there's no bad players. You know, every player that's playing there is a top player from all different countries. So it's a fantastic opportunity, and it's something that once you've had a taste of it, it's very difficult to not go back to it. But yeah, I've been to 2 World Cups with him, and it'd be nice to do 3 if it's possible. If not, 2 is okay. And 6 national teams, that's okay as well. I think I've had more national teams than clubs, so that's fine. I just can't remember all the national anthems. That's the only problem I'm having at the moment.
I was going to say, I mean, you guys have worked together at national level across so many different continents. I mean, never mind here in South Africa. You talk about Iran, Egypt, Qatar. It's now Oman. And the big question that a lot of people keep asking is, what's this and what makes this Kirosh Desar partnership click?
I think you got to ask him. I like to say that I do the work and he does the interviews and the TV stuff, and I do the work. But I'm joking. He's a very hardworking man as well, and I think that's what he enjoys about it. That I put in long hours too, and he allows me to run the whole technical side of it. I run the whole technical staff, and of course, as the years have gone by, the trust has grown, and with that comes more work, unfortunately. But so basically run the show for him. He always appoints me as first team coach, and he sees himself as the national team head coach. So, and that's how he treats me. He treats me like a first team coach, and then it's always been that way, and it's been fantastic. I've learned a lot, and of course, hopefully one day when I come back home, I can pass on what I've learned. We'll see.
Yeah, I was going to say that's part of the irony of how at international level, Roger, things are handled. And sometimes people don't understand that even when you're a head coach, within the Premier League in England, when you're the head coach, you're not there every day doing the drills. You could be sitting at the office, and then now and again you pop around, you check, you watch, you go back to the office. But the first team coach, like you say, is the person that does the hard yards.
Yeah, absolutely. His first intention when he took me to Egypt was that he would be the Alex Ferguson and I would be the Carlos Queiroz of Man United at the time. And that was how he wanted it to be. And I tried to encourage him to make the paycheck similar, but he didn't fall for that one, Rob. He didn't fall for that one, but I tried. But it has been a great journey. It's been a great trip. And Rob, I was actually thinking about it today. I said, it's the people you meet along the way. It's been absolutely outstanding. And different countries, different cultures, different backgrounds. And just such wonderful people everywhere I've been, and that's been what goes. It's not the games I've won or lost or whatever. It's just been a fantastic journey.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about how do you manage to handle that cultural difference? The footballing cultural differences when you work in the Egypts or Qatar or Omans or Irans of this world. That there's a huge cultural difference from what we used to back this side.
Being a South African, it actually helps. We also, we live in a country with such vast, differences and, different tribes even, in our country. And you sort of, you learn to adapt and to respect each other. And I think it helps when you come out here. They know you respect them and they respect you too. I think one thing about being a foreigner, you always sort of get placed on a very high position, and the respect is massive. Especially, I must say, Omani people have been unbelievable. And it's known around this area that they are the nicest people. So, and rightly so. They're unbelievable, friendly people, very respectable, very different to the Qataris and the UAEs of this world. A lot more grounded, down to earth, and really, really nice people. But no different to all the ones I've met, in Egypt, Iran, Qatar, Portugal, whatever. It's been fantastic. Hello, Rob.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm still here listening very, very carefully and attentively to what you're saying here. And I was wondering, like, short-term goal. Do you go into an Oman and you have what, short-term goal, long-term goals? What would you say the major goal is and the instruction given to both of you?
Look, I think originally when we came out here was to qualify for the World Cup, but there was a very, very small chance we could do that. We had 2 away games against UAE and Qatar, which was very, very difficult. They're in another level compared to Omani football. Omani football are really, I would say it's almost like a semi-professional setup. It's not they're not even a full-time setup. So it was always going to be very difficult to qualify them straight away. But, part of our job is, obviously to restructure the league and to get things going and to make their football a lot better than what it is, So massive challenges, but, Carlos has got some fantastic experience. And I think together with me, we put some ideas together. And yeah, I think we've improved already. Everybody is enjoying what we're doing. We got the Arab Cup coming up now, which is a massive challenge as well. And then we don't, we'd love to win it, but it's something very, very far from for us at the moment. But obviously put some young players in the squad, start developing them and make them more competitive, and make the whole league and make the whole country more competitive. That's what we're trying to do. Of course, the goals, I've often said to a lot of people, and somebody said to me, did you set out when you started playing sport that you were going to achieve this? And I said, no, never. I didn't dream I would ever be at a World Cup or coach 6 national teams and be a triple international, whatever. I just went day by day and did the best I could every day, and every day that came up, I practiced hard, I trained hard, I did the best I could, I played hard, and slowly things happen. And I think it's got to be the same thing when you're coaching. You just got to go day by day.
No, absolutely. And when you look at it overall, though, Roger, and you talk about trying to be a powerhouse, you play against Ivory Coast. That's going to be another game that you're going to play next week. What kind of test are you expecting from an Ivory Coast, one of Africa's major powerhouses?
Well, I think current African champions, if I'm not mistaken, and
100%,
and obviously in preparing to defend their title in a month's time in Morocco. So they're going to come, full house, full speed against us. Funny enough, I chose the friendly, so I'm under a bit of pressure with the coach because I chose Sudan, which is pretty similar to, we thought, Somalia, which is one of the qualifying matches we've got to play after Ivory Coast. And then Ivory Coast was on the table, and I said, wow, what a great challenge. Let's play Ivory Coast. And obviously then I started looking at the squad and the players that are coming, and the whole squad play in the top 5 leagues of the world. All 23 players are coming to Oman. So, you're going to come up against it. You're going to come up against guys that are 1.80 meters and up, a lot of muscle, a lot of physical football, and great ability, and a team that's been together for some time. So we're really going to get tested. But that's what we want. You got to play against better teams so that you can improve. It's no good playing, the local guys around us, and you're not going to get better. You got to get tested against the world, and you got to play different types of football. So African teams, of course, Asian teams as well, and when we can play some European teams, because we got to get better.
Before I let you go, Hugo Broos, he's made sure South Africa qualify for the World Cup, obviously playing in the Africa Cup of Nations. How has he gotten it right?
Wow, I think he's done a fantastic job. Everybody knows that. I really felt that. I think when he started, I thought not a lot was expected from the Bafana setup any longer. I think we were, as a nation, we were almost like just whatever happens. We're starting to accept sort of mediocrity and failure. And nice to see that he put a fantastic team together. Look, you got to credit the clubs as well. I think the clubs' participation in the African competitions as clubs and taking the competition a lot more serious has helped our national team as well, because a lot of the players who get selected now have had experience playing for their clubs in Africa, and I think that helps a lot. In our day, none of us clubs, we used to play in the African competitions. We just got thrown into the national team and go for it, which is good to see that. So credit to the clubs, of course, and then just to see what he's done. I mean, he's got such a, what I can see from the outside is there's a sense of calmness and belief in what they're doing, which is great to see. And he's really sort of blocked the noise from the outside, and he's gone on about his job, picked whoever he's wanted to pick, pick the players he wanted to. He's really ignored the club badges, and rightly so. And he's done a fantastic job. I think had it not been an administrative mistake and an error that could have cost us dearly, I mean, we would have qualified long ago and comfortably. So, I mean, so much credit to him and the job he's done, and Hellman and the whole staff around him, and of course the players and the clubs.
Yeah. What a journey. What a journey for you, Roger. Please send my well wishes to the coach, Carlos Queiroz. Tell him he mustn't.
I will do so.
Tell him he mustn't dodge us. We'd love to chat to him one of these days. But
yeah, anytime. Just let me know. I'll get him onto the mic. No problem.
Yeah. No, I mean, when you talked about the Alec Ferguson, Carlos Queiroz joint venture that they had, we remember going across to the training at Man United when he was still there, and we had to do an interview with him, and he was just like, put the mic away, put the camera away, and he said, "Come, let's take a walk." And I think he had wanted to just offload so much about the frustration of what happened to him in that very controversial camp when he last had his foray with Bafana Bafana. And, he spoke so candidly, but also spoke about what he left behind at Safa House, which was a document that he believes is still gathering dust over there of how South Africa can move the football forward. And it was such an in-depth conversation. I'll never forget that. And obviously, he was assistant to Alex, and then he went to Real Madrid, and then Alex didn't actually fill that gap as an assistant. Maybe he knew that he wasn't going to last too long at Real Madrid, and he was back to his job again, sitting next to Ferguson. So, I mean, what a journey and what a joy, and I'm glad you guys get to work together.
Yeah, we actually had a call from Alex last night. We were sitting in our office here, and we had a call from Alex, and we had a good chat for half an hour. So I think Alex has got more time on his hands now as well. So, we had a good chat and a good laugh, and we spoke about South African wine, and how we, promised him that I was going to send him another bottle, and we'll drink it together soon. And it was a great chat, and it's a small world, and it's been great. It really has. But who knows? I think Carlos will. I strongly believe he'll come back to Africa. I just. He's got some strong links in Mozambique still. He's got a game farm and some properties there, and that's all he talks to me about. Whenever we've got some off time, we keep discussing Africa and what we could do in Africa, and it's in the blood. And I think he'll be back. I'll definitely be back, but I think he will too.
Yeah, come back home, guys. Come back home. Roger Dessau, Oman assistant coach. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Absolute pleasure, Rob, and hope to catch up again. Cheers, bud.
All right, truly appreciate it, man. Sounded like you were sitting right here next to me.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW. Every business owner knows that expenses don't go on holiday. But at Lula, securing funding for your business can feel like a vacation. With South Africa's first SME-only banking suite, you can now pause the payments and play with growth. Apply for up to 5 million rand in funding this November and only pay at the end of January 2026. Visit lula.co.za and use the promo code GROW2025. Experience business class funding today. T's and C's apply.
Step into a world of unforgettable experiences in Dubai. From luxury beaches to underwater adventures. From authentic traditions to futuristic museums. Make it a Dubai adventure to remember with Emirates. Fly to Dubai from one of 3 gateways in South Africa. Start your holiday the moment you board with delicious regional meals, complimentary drinks, and up to 6,500 channels of entertainment. Fly Emirates, fly better.
What's a Thursday without Lotto Star's real jackpot race? We are bringing you the hottest slots in a thrilling race where a share of 500,000 Rand could be yours. The jackpot is guaranteed to hit. Join the race every Thursday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. You could be one of 500 lucky winners. Lotto Star, your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Join us at Hirsch's from the 31st of October to the 30th of November as we reveal the biggest Black Friday deals weekly. Huge savings on TVs, appliances, aircons, and much more. Save 2,000 Rand when you purchase an LG 19 kg AI top loader for 8,999 or get an LG 39-litre Neo Chef microwave for 5,999. Black Friday deals available in-store or online at Hirsch's.co.za. Stock is limited. T's and C's apply. Hirsch's, we will save you money.
The Swedes have this word, lagom. It means just the right amount. Not too much, not too little. It already sounds like a South African word. Lagom, lagom.
And that's exactly how we've refreshed the Volvo XC60. New grille, new interiors, new colors, new wheels. Just the right amount of new to make you fall in love all over again. The refreshed Volvo XC60. The car Mzansi loves. Now, with even more to love. Discover more at volvocars.com. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
This is Kyle's mom, entertaining the guests.
My son and I have been taking some dancing lessons.
Watch
and
this.
a 1 and a 2. Oopsies.
And this is Kyle's mom with 2 months free YouTube Premium, plus 5 gigs free YouTube data, plus 30 gigs once off.
It's showtime! With ad-free YouTube Premium. Kyle, hand out the logins, my boy. You get a password. You get
Extra
a password.
your summer with the Vodacom Red Plan and get extra Red rewards plus benefits on the VodaPay app when you sign up or upgrade, online and in store. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
David Thidiela, welcome to #MSW.
I owe nobody any favor. I'm here where I am through grace of God, and I owe nobody. Don't forget that I'm a part of the PSL. I'm in the executive, and I won't go and cut my nose to spite my face. And to have a soccer club, it was also through the grace of God, and I want to, when I know more, my kids must enjoy what I worked for. I must live the legacy. And in football, I don't have a boss. We are all bosses because we are soccer owners.
#MSW.
Good evening, Rob and MSW shareholders, Mirokota and Pretoria. Rob, I agree with you. You must bring Thidiela here in the studio so that we can hear his stories or allegation against Dr. Khoza. And also Dr. Khoza must also be there to answer for himself so that there is all the altar, that law that says what you is on the left must be on the right. We need to get all the facts from both chairman and Thidiela. Mirokota Dango.
Good afternoon to you, Rob. What I can say to Mr. Thidiela, I heard what he say. Mr. Thidiela, what I can say to you is just kiss and say goodbye to PSL. You will never get back to PSL. That's what I can tell you. The reason why I'm saying this is in the PSL, there are people that you mustn't fight with them. It's either they are right, you have to be a puppet. That's what you need to be. You have to be a puppet. What you said now, you put a sword in their wounds. I'm telling you, my father, you put a sword in their wounds. Thanks, Rob. Nice show. Bye.
You have to be a puppet.
Hi, Mr. Marawa and the team. The question that I could ask Mr. Thidiela is, why now? Because he was once part of that hierarchy called PSL board. And some of the draconian laws were formulated with him involved, but he didn't say anything. There are clubs, Mr. Marawa, that were affected by the same draconian laws, but it was convenient for Mr. Thidiela then, and then now inconvenient for him. So he was once one of those people who benefited from that ABSA sponsorship deal. So for me, I'm sorry, but no sorry. David in Parkwood.
All right, so David saying that he is not sorry, but not sorry. Yeah, sounds like, just also looking at social media, people saying, yeah, bring him on. Let him come on, let him account. I got to say, I did have a word with him privately. I think it was over the weekend. And already he was voicing his anger. He was just voicing how he feels that is being targeted. But let's see. We'll let you know. Should be an interesting one. As interesting, guys, as the Springboks. Hey, they are back on the march again. Like I said early on, Coach Rassie Erasmus has just dropped that selection bombshell ahead of Saturday's clash in Turin. He's made, 11 changes to the starting 15. One more on the bench, and a whole new look as the Boks prepare to lock horns, though, with the Azzurri after that bruising 32-17 triumph over France. And who better to help us kind of decode the madness, the method, the magic of this Bok evolution than a man who's chronicled the journey, though, from the smoky braais of yesteryear to those thunderous stadiums of today. Well, he's a veteran rugby scribe, a master of the pen, the author of The Fireside, a blazing tribute to Springbok history and heritage, independent media, and one of the room dividers. Mike Greenaway is on the line. Mike, Thank you so much for your time, man. Good to have you on the other side of the line and not in studio.
Good evening, Rob. Good evening, listeners.
Yeah, what do you make of this? I mean, it's wholesale changes, basically.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. I think what we've got to just really appreciate here is Rassie Erasmus, and there's no other coach in world rugby that can do this, can make 11 changes to a starting lineup and another on the bench, and yet he still has 640 caps worth of experience in this team. And it's not just, a couple of guys who've got like 80 or whatever, significant amount of caps. This is still an experienced Springbok team and a hugely exciting one. I mean, I'm looking at Andre Pollard, who is marshalling a backline, which potentially will be the backline post the next World Cup. I'm talking about Andre. Alongside him has Ethan Hooker, Kanan Moody, that back three, Damian Willems, Edwin van der Merwe, Curtly Orange. So, wow, man, there's just so much attacking potential there. People must not think that this is an inferior Springbok team, because it absolutely is not. The way Rassie maneuvers, the way he organizes things, I mean, there's no player in that team who has less than 10 caps. Apart from Zachary Porthen, who comes back at tight head prop. Still a very strong Springbok team.
Yeah, I think when you look at the changes, though, like you're saying, that there is experience. Some of us are quite excited. Achias Neyman, from a personal perspective there, Mike, in line for his 49th cap.
Yeah, look, I mean, and he's on a bomb squad. And wow, guys, this is back to the real bomb squad. So if people are a little bit worried about all the changes to the starting lineup, you look at that bomb squad and there is serious insurance on the bench, serious security. I mean, Walker Lowe is there. We've seen him come on so many times this year and just win scrum penalty after scrum penalty. His name, and as you just mentioned, there as well. And Ruan Nokia, wow. I mean, this guy to me is one of the finds of the entire season. I mean, when he came on to replace the red-carded Lotte Jager last week in Paris, I mean, he just stepped up to the plate and was brilliant. So he's there. So you've got Algier, you've got Ruan, you've got Walker Lowe, you've got Gerard Steenekamp, and you've got the ultimate hybrid player in Andre Esterhuizen, who is there as well. He's going to do his funky stuff once more. Kwagga Smith, probably the quintessential bomb squad member there too. Grant Williams, Marnie Libok. Wow, you look at that 8-man bench that's going to come on, and you wonder how Italy are going to live with the box in the last half an hour.
That front row, obviously brand new. It's a new front row for Endel Grobler, Zachary Porthen. I mean, remember him, Mike, making his test debut against Japan in London, and now he gets to start.
Yeah, and it's a welcome start as well. And Rassie, of course, he's the master tactician. He knows that he's got to be careful with how he kind of manipulates new players into the Springbok system. So we had Zachary against Japan. Now we've got Zachary against Italy, and it's not that how can I put it? It's not that he's being what's the word? Polite in how he's doing it. He's just bringing the guys in slowly. So he would not have put Zachary into that massive bun fight that was Paris last week. So he's now brought him in strategically for a slightly easier game against Italy. And then of course he's got the backup there in Volker Lowe and Gerard Steenekamp to come on. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what Zachary can do in this game.
I know that it missed us on Tuesday, but the whole Lotte Jager, the 4-match ban, I mean, how big a blow is this, though, for the Boks, especially with Italy?
Yeah, no, it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Look, I mean, this 5-match tour for the Springboks, Rassie is basically looking at as a mini World Cup. He selected exactly the same squad that you would take to a World Cup, 33, and he's now looking to only bring in players when he absolutely has to. So what I'm trying to say is he's trying to use his squad as he would if he was at a World Cup. So Thidiela goes, and boy, what a good player to be able to bring in Jean Klein. Jean Klein is almost like a forgotten Springbok. I mean, this guy was a key part of the 2023 World Cup campaign. But since then has been just had injury after injury after injury, and it's very unfortunate. But yeah, so Jean Klein comes in to the second row, and this guy, his last match was off the bench in the 2023 World Cup final against New Zealand. But yeah, just the way Rassie plans things to have Jean Klein to come in, and then have. Yes, and then he's also brought back another one of his veterans, Franco Mostert, who many have thought would be on the flank for this game. But Mosi, of course, can play second row as well. That's probably his primary position. So he's there with Jean Klein in the second row. And then we've got Archia coming on, the Viking, and Ruan Nortje, who I said earlier, is probably the form Springbok player of the year. So no issues with the second row.
All right, just maybe a Rassie moment here as we wrap it up here, Mike. The response, you go back to the whole Luet thing. I call it like a vintage Rassie moment. He kind of sends out a very cheeky tweet. He deletes the post. He takes a massive dig at the boardroom. I mean, what did you make of it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think I've said before on our shows that, you know, as South Africans, we sometimes think there's conspiracies against us, and we think that, you know, the opposition, and I call them the Northern Hemisphere, people say we've got a persecution complex. But honestly, really, that was just too harsh, what happened to Thidiela. I mean, this guy is way over 2 meters tall. He has a squeaky clean record. He has never gone into a game to maim or hurt anyone. He went as low as he possibly could into that tackle, if I can put it that way, on Ramos, the French fullback. Look, it was shoulder to head, so that automatically means a censure of some kind. But wow, for it to be an automatic red card, and now a 4-match suspension is way too harsh. I mean, this guy has already suffered. I mean, he went off in the 38th minute. That's 42 minutes of the game. He's already been punished, and the Springboks have been punished. And in my mind, that should have been enough. When you look at it and you see that this guy didn't mean to harm anyone.
Mike Greenaway, catch you on Tuesday, sir. Thank you so much indeed.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Thank you so much, Mike Greenaway there, the Room Divider, joining us right here on #MSW, also independent media rugby writer and author of a book on the Springbok history, The Fireside. All right, we wrap here on #MSW. Guess what? It's a Friday again tomorrow. Unbelievable how time has just quickly gone by. And if it's a Friday, it means it's a legend tomorrow. Catch you then. This has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW Live.